Hey folks, welcome back to the show and another episode of Rustic Country Comfort Cooking. One of my favorite little tasty meals I like to put together in a pinch. You saw me a couple years ago, maybe caught the video of me making this particular meal, and I paired it with some black-eyed peas. In today's video, we're going to be going full on with some southern pan-fried cabbage. We will be prepping this delicious little meal inside the RV due to the fact that we have a lot of high winds going on outside, and because I live next to a large highway, it's very noisy. However, the cook will happen outside on my propane Coleman camp stove. So, to start this delicious little meal, we're going to start with a pound of bacon. We're going to open up the package and cut it into small pieces. Ooh, look at all that bacon, a whole pound of it cut up. Now we're going to get our 10-inch Lodge cast iron skillet and go throw it on that camp stove. Now we got that bacon out there on the cast iron skillet on the camp stove. It's time for us to process a head of red cabbage. Ooh, look how beautiful that cabbage is. That color is just unbelievable. Just beautiful. We better go check on that bacon. Alright, so now we got that bacon all nice and crispy. We got it set aside on a towel to let that grease kind of go away a little bit and let it crispen up even more. In the meanwhile, we're going to take this sweet head of red cabbage that we processed and throw it in there with that bacon grease and render it down. Alright, so here's where we are so far. We got our bacon all set and ready to go. It's sitting to the side, and we threw our head of red cabbage in the bacon grease, and it's got to render down for a little while. Let me take just a few moments and let you know what's been going on with me the last couple weeks. As you all heard me say back around Christmas time in a video, that at the end of April we were packing up and we're moving out of this area, and that is still on, trust me. However, we ran into a couple roadblocks and bumps along the way. A couple weeks ago I ended up taking the Hummer up to go get all the fluids changed. Just the fluids. You know, we want all new good fluids to make sure everything's running well. Paid the bill. It was almost 700 bucks. Ouch. And we got out on the road and I got up about 40 miles an hour and I couldn't go any faster without feeling as though the back end was going to fall out. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with this? I've never had this problem. Limped it home. Went back the next day, which was on a Sunday. The people said, well, our mechanic's not in today, doesn't work, we can't help you. So I ended up taking the next day off of work, this is a Monday, and taking it back up there. They put it on a computer and all that other good stuff, and come find out it was beyond their expertise. And they said, you're gonna have to take this thing up to the dealership and stuff. So I was like, whatever. So we limped it through the next week of work, and I went and dropped it off at the GM dealership, the Chevy dealership, and they went through it and they told me what was wrong, and ouch, ouch, ouch. I needed a new transmission and a new transfer case for the four-wheel drive and a fuel emissions flush and all that stuff. All that came to around 6,700 bucks. Now, mind you, I just dropped 700 bucks at this other place, and they've got clauses in all their contracts where they're not responsible for that kind of stuff, so I couldn't go after them. So all in all, that ran me well over 7,000 bucks. Not to mention, I went to go get my mail at the post office box yesterday, and I had two nice big fat letters from the IRS. Now, I did do my taxes, and so I knew I owed some money, and I was just waiting to see how much I owed. Opened them up and it came to a total of $3,000. Now this is because we went through the last couple years going through divorce and coronavirus and all the other crap that happened and stuff, and I fell a little bit back behind my taxes. So I ended up having to pay the IRS, and they said I had 2 weeks to pay it, so I had no other choice. So I'm out over $10,000 in a matter of 2 weeks that I did not have factored into anything. But you know, hey, there's no sense in getting stressed out. It is what it is. It didn't wipe me clean. We still game on for everything that's game planned. But now we're having to make meals that have to last us. And this meal in particular cost me about $10, and I'll have to be eating on it for about the next 2-3 days. And the price of gas, don't get me started on that. I've already packed up all my outdoor gear and stuff, so we're not going to be doing any more of those hikes in the recent weeks to come or anything until we get moved. Not to mention everything else along with it. And I'm not here crying or complaining. It is what it is. It's life. I have nothing more to do other than to smile, get it behind me, and move on. Alright, so we have the cabbage and it's cooking in the bacon grease right now. We're letting that all kind of render down a little bit. This is where you have to pay attention depending on your preferences in eating cabbage and stuff. We don't want it to be crunchy, but we don't want it to be soggy. So as soon as it reaches a certain area and time, you'll know it, and most of that grease is burned off. And I got a couple small little ingredients to add onto that, and we're going to be chowing. Okay, so now the cabbage has kind of rendered itself down and got most of the bacon grease gone and everything. We're going to add just a little bit of unsalted chicken stock. Lord knows we don't need any more sodium because we got that bacon for it too. And just a couple sprinkles of some regular sugar. Alright, so the time has come where we are almost done with this southern pan-fried cabbage, but let's not forget about that bacon we cooked up in the beginning. We're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it back in the pan for about 5 minutes, let it simmer, and it's eating time. Oh, behold, southern pan-fried cabbage with bacon in it. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't want to eat a whole lot of this because we got to save room for dinner and all that stuff. Let's add a little bit of hot sauce to that because I already know I want it. No extra seasonings. Let's give it a try. Now, at this point in the game, you can do whatever it is you want to do with it. You can eat this as a meal, which I love to just eat this as a meal, or you can pair this with an entree, or put whatever seasonings it is that you want on here, onions, peppers, you name it, even cheese. But I highly suggest, if you're going to try a recipe like this, to just give it a try before you add a bunch of stuff. I'm not eating a whole lot right now of this because supper's later and I want to save some room, and at that time when we eat later, I'm going to pair it with some cornbread. Let's add a little bit of Texas Pete on there, not much, just a tiny little bit. Give it some of that back kick to the back of your throat. Here goes nothing. Mmm. Oh boy. Mmm. Still a little bit. Got a little bit of a snap to it. It's not soggy. Perfect texture. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, look at that. Even's got a chunk of bacon in it. Ooh, that is delicious. Get in my mouth. Oh, and that bacon. Oh my goodness. Mmm. So damn good.
Oh, the color on this. I've made this recipe several times, and never with red cabbage. It is so delicious. Now, to some people, cabbage is an acquired taste. And there's lots of different variables of how to cook cabbage. And this happens to be one of my favorite. Oh yeah. You wish you were here. I could eat myself sick on this. This is so good. You don't need any salt. Remember, there's that bacon in there. Perfect texture. Have patience with this meal. If you forgot how to do this, go back and watch the video again. That's going to do it for this edition of Rustic Country Comfort Cooking, Southern Pan Fried Cabbage. Oh my goodness, very near and dear to my heart. I've never tried it with the red cabbage, just as good. Now remember, if you try this recipe and you get yourself a big head of cabbage, it's going to yield a lot of food and you're going to need a big pan. I plan on eating on that meal for the next couple days. Yummy. Listen, in the next couple weeks, I'll try to get out as much videos as I possibly can, and then I'll be off the grid for a couple months. So, if you got any comments, questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Take care.